We're in a series about Coach John Wooden's Pyramid of Success. Now, we've already talked about the first cornerstone, which is industriousness or hard work. But now we're going to talk about the second cornerstone, and that's enthusiasm. Now, enthusiasm is a strong excitement or feeling of active interest in something that you like or something that you enjoy. So enthusiasm is energy. Now, enthusiasm is contagious. It creates an atmosphere of excitement and fun and energy. And we've all been around people that are enthusiastic. You know, in sales, that's like the first thing that you learn is be enthusiastic because it's influential. It rubs off and now people start feeling enthusiastic about your product or what you have to offer. But we've all also been around people that are very unenthusiastic. And there's not much energy. And there's not much emotion. And there's sure not any excitement. And they're just always very passive. And we either leave because we can't stand to be around somebody like that and we feel like they drag us down, or we become like them and we let them influence us. Now, we know better though. From now on, I don't want to hear that. We know better because we understand how important enthusiasm is. So Paul understood this when he wrote to the Christians in Romans 12. He said, "Serve the Lord enthusiastically." And the reason I think he said that is because he understood if you're trying to be influential and try to recruit Christians, you're trying to show the joy of the Lord that you have. If you're not enthusiastic about it, you're not going to be influential. People aren't going to want what you have if there's no excitement or emotion or passion. So he understood this. Now, enthusiasm is a choice. Okay, it's a feeling, it's an emotion, but what a lot of times we forget is those are choices. And we feel them. You know, it's easy to feel enthusiastic when it's fun or new or exciting, but what happens when there's an area of your life that's important and you're not enthusiastic about it? You can start to feel enthusiastic by choosing to focus on different things. Focus on what's going to happen if I choose not to do this. What's going to happen if I choose to do it, and what great changes are going to happen, and how am I going to feel? And then the third thing is, how do I use my body? If it's always down and talking like this and there's no energy, it's hard to feel enthusiasm. But if you pick yourself up, if you speak strongly, if you have some action and use your body, you start to naturally just feel that way. So that's how you can take an emotion and choose to start to feel it. So Coach Wooden talks about how when he first got hired and he went to California to coach for UCLA, they promised him a new gym. But that didn't happen for like 14 years. And so when he first got there, and for 14 years, they practiced in what they nicknamed the BO barn, which sounds like a lot of fun. It was a small, poorly ventilated, poorly lit gym where on one end they had the wrestling practice, on the other end they had gymnastics, and then in the middle they played basketball. So imagine all that stuff going on in a poorly ventilated gym. So I think we know why it's called the BO barn. And Coach and his other coaches would actually have to sweep the floor and mop it before every practice. And when they had home games, the court was so small, they couldn't even play there. They had to play off-site at local high school gyms and just other local basketball courts. It wasn't until they won their first national championship that they got a new gym. But what Coach talked about in his book is he said, for the first couple of years, I was very unenthusiastic. I was focusing on the things outside of my control, and it showed. I was unenthusiastic. That spread to my coaches, which spread to my players, and nobody was enthusiastic or excitement or passionate or emotional about what they were doing because they were focused on the things they couldn't control. He said, once I changed my mind and I realized this, and I started to focus on the things within my control, and I became enthusiastic about them, it spread. And as it spread, they continued to get better success until they won their national championship. Not because they got a new gym, because they chose to have a different belief and become enthusiastic in their current circumstances. So what's the area in your life where it's important, but you need more enthusiasm? I encourage you, please list it below. I would love to see it. And I would love to also see what you plan to do in order to become more enthusiastic. This is just a series that we're doing about Coach Wooden's Pyramid of Success. If this is something that you are, that you know somebody else that might be interested in, please share it with them. And I invite you to stay with me as we continue to dive into the building blocks of Coach's Pyramid of Success.